Do you find that you struggle with connecting in with your body signals of telling you that it's hungry, or what we might call signs of hunger? Or do you feel like you don't even know what hunger feels like and you struggle to eat consistently enough to fuel your body throughout the day? I just filmed a video, which is probably already up right now, on understanding why it's important to fuel our bodies regularly and consistently. And I explained a bit of a metaphor that I think is really nice to keep in mind when talking about this. So if you haven't watched that already, go and check it out. But this is kind of a follow-on from that video, basically talking about some ideas for gentle reminders to eat and to allow ourselves to just check in with our bodies and understand, is it time to top up our fire? That will make sense if you watched the previous video, but to have enough energy to make it through the day, to support your symptoms and to just move on. So I've got a couple of different strategies that I use with patients, and different people like different things. So give a couple a go and see what works best for you. So the first one is one of my favorites. I don't know if you've ever seen those like 3-tier trolleys on wheels. You can get them at Kmart, IKEA, loads of different places, and they're kind of open. You could get closed drawer ones if you wanted to, but I like the fact that it's open because when I'm looking for gentle reminders, I'm looking for things that are visual. I'm a very visual person, and a lot of people that I work with are visual people, not everyone. And basically, I like to kind of have the 3 tiers and, you know, on one of the tiers pop some snacks and some hydration, and some reminders for food, even like reminders for lunch, whether it's actual like pictures of things or something more like written, like sticky notes, or whether it's actually just snacks themselves, and thinking of snacks and going, oh wait, you know, when was the last time I had a meal? Or yes, it's time to have a snack. And now obviously this is something that you can also put like other Sims, like fidget toys, like a nice cozy blanket, phone charger so that you don't have to get up, like loads of different things that you feel when, you know, resting and having some green time on the couch or in your bedroom or outside, wherever you are. It's a trolley that you can kind of drag with you and keep next to you, so that if you do not have the energy or capacity to get up from where you're at to grab food, and that is one of the barriers to eating consistently, not only is it a really nice visual reminder, but it also makes it more accessible to give you the energy to then maybe get up and do something else. So sometimes it might just be packaged, you know, non-perishable snacks, and other times it might be basically just, I like to have the idea of a lunchbox with a cold pack in it, and then at the start of the day I might tell people to like pop maybe some more like perishable snacks, like some fridge snacks, like some yogurt, or some cheese and bickies, and they are just there and accessible and can kind of stay in that bag with an ice pack for a couple of hours, without them needing to go back in the fridge, which might be one of the first snacks that we prioritize. So many more things that we could do with the accessibility trolley, or like that's kind of what I call it. But basically, I'm going to move on from that. And I kind of mentioned this before, but maybe sticky notes or like written reminders or nice pretty visuals. If you're a Canva person, you want to make something pretty, just to kind of stick in places where you might be at your desk, next to your bed, near the couch, just to kind of remind you, like, when was the last time you fueled your body? And allow you to kind of look back and think, oh, it's been like 3 hours. I know that I generally get hungry or need energy, need fuel around about this time. If I let it go for any longer, I might feel a little bit sick. So I'm going to go get myself something. So it's a bit of a gentle reminder to help just refresh the mind in thinking and connecting in with, do I need energy? How am I feeling? Another one that's less gentle, but some people might need more structured reminders, like alarms and like physical reminders on your phone. And I like those sometimes. I prefer reminders because alarms make me mad because I don't like getting up in the morning. But I know a lot of people find alarms actually really helpful. They're like, I don't take subtle. I need straight in the face. I need to be told that it's probably time for me to think about eating and not rely on the gentle, whereas I know a lot of people prefer gentle. So alarms might not be for you, and it's kind of maybe setting it at kind of 3-hour intervals and just allowing yourself to check in. And if it's too soon, then push it out a little bit. If it's actually allowed you to stop and to think, am I hungry? It might be helpful. I kind of prefer reminders because they show up at a particular amount of time, and then I see them when I have the capacity to see it, and I can tick it off once I've done it. So that's helpful for me with some things. And I also like to, there's ways that we can make it gentle as well. It's not like eat right now. It could be, just an emoji of food, like a food emoji, or it could just be like, should I nourish my body right now? Or do I need to top up in energy? It can be really neutral language, which I like. Another strategy that I like is a buddy system. So if you have a friend who maybe also struggles with food, or if you have a friend or family member who is on top of eating regularly, it might be just allowing them when they are eating and in tune with their hunger signals to connect in with you and go, hey, maybe time to check in with that. I know some people might not feel comfortable in asking someone else to help remind them to eat, but they might feel a little bit better that if they have that relationship with someone, that reminder is coming from a loved one. And I know that suits some people really well, and just kind of buddying up and doing tasks can work really well for some people. Even if it's a housemate, someone that you live with, or even if it's just over text, and someone that you don't necessarily live with, but they can even offer you that support virtually. Another one that a lot of people that I work with like is just instead of out of sight, out of mind, which is probably why a lot of people struggle with thinking about food, but in sight and in mind. So keeping like a little snack box somewhere, or some people like to just keep things on their kitchen bench because they walk past it very often and that reminds them, oh, I should probably snack on something, and it's just easier and more accessible. So if there is a place that you often find that you are walking around or looking at, maybe popping some options there if you didn't like the sound of the trolley, but you still want something that's more visual and gentle, kind of putting it in a place that is more visual might be helpful. That is all from my brain today, and I'd like to know if there's any more that I haven't spoken about, any more strategies and tips that you might use to help remind you to check in and see whether you do need food, whether you do need to eat, or just to kind of help you eat regularly, because if you are someone who struggles to eat regularly without forming some sort of routine or pattern. So yeah, I find that this can be really helpful to troubleshoot this in session with someone, or just with someone in your life, and to just play around with a couple of different strategies and find what works for you. I find it's really important not to be all or nothing, and you can take different aspects of different strategies. But if there are any other strategies that you feel that I've missed or that you feel are helpful for you, please share them down below. It could be helpful for someone else struggling with just eating enough and eating regularly. So I hope this video was helpful, and thank you so much for watching.